In the last couple of years, there has been a lot of anime released that push the boundary of murder mystery or just generally show with a puzzle element. Time Loop or Return Back Time is one of the few examples of a mystery show that is popping out in the medium of anime. It is a plot device where the main character has the ability to go back in time either by using a machine or by ending his life in order to repeat the mistakes at hand. It's no surprise to us cause the sheer amount of popularity anime such as Steins Gate and ReZero have been able to gain with their respective main arching story. In fact, right at this moment, there is one anime that is currently using this main plot in their presentations of the story. That is Summertime Rendering. So why is this plot device works and able to gain the giant success that it deserves? Now let's take a look at a few reasons why this design works and how it changed the delivery of the story. Now, if we think of a murder mystery show, we correlate the concept itself with a puzzle. The writer sprinkles a selection of information about a murder throughout the story for you to solve. Then, in the finale, the writer will reveal all the information and expose the perpetrator or murderer itself. That's the basic premise of any mystery show. However, with a time loop, instead of going through a linear path, the author decided to have a different branch of the path to present different possibility with a different scenario in each plot point. Each course will lead to a different conclusion with only one will be the best ending for our main character. You can think of it like a video game where a bad choice will lead to a game over while a good choice will make you clear the game. Essentially, the viewer will go through the same scenario a couple of times, but each sequence will be adjusted to the decisions of our protagonist. With this method, the information we gather is based on the multiple bad choices our hero take in order to solve the mystery at hand. With each bad choice, the story shows a different perspective of the same character we met. Either they become our allies or become part of the main problem itself. Other than that, different events have different outcomes that change the strategic way for our protagonist to solve the mystery at hand. It determines what to avoid and what to do in that scenario. Gathering knowledge through different paths and the mistakes that occur along the way will not just help the lead character, but also the viewer to determine who is on the right and who is on the wrong all along. This plot device is fascinating to see with how complex the structure can be and how amazing can the story build. It looks simple on the outside, but it is more than meets the eye. Those words are basically what I would describe how Time Loop operates its complex narrative structure. Returning back to presence is the perfect way to scatter the clues carefully all over part of your story. With each passing route, the author will entangle the story with problems after problems that makes the mystery much bigger than we expected. Clues will be piling on each other, tiny things lead to a much bigger things, death become more apparent, and our hero keeps repeating the same event. All the mystery that are being laid in the story are connected to each other. That is why we cannot take lightly the threat and problems that come to our main character with each passing loop. Failed loops are not meant to disregard the progress of our main character. It is being used as a clue for our future endeavors. That is why it is important for the audience to be aware of even the smallest detail, as that can become important later in the story. The anime guides the audience to be aware of the conclusions with each passing loop. With these escalations of the problem, what I would like to point out is that we, the audience, and the main character are basically in the same shoes. Our viewpoints of the story are very similar, and the hint of mystery that was given to us is also similar. The growth of plot mystery enables the author to create a connection between the perceptions of our main protagonist and ourselves, the viewer. Now, as I mentioned previously, we, the viewer, are seeing the same perspective as the main protagonist. We see everything that our hero went through, from the death of the loved ones, being betrayed by the people you trust, and failing to save those around him. Those are a few examples of what our protagonist has to go through with each failing loop. Mystery and the unknown makes you feel unnerved and feel agitated. As problems become bigger and the mystery become more complex, the feeling of uneasiness and bewilderment sparks hopeless thoughts inside our protagonist's mind. That is where despair will come. The idea of the story basically boils down to a repeating cycle of a lonely journey. There is nobody who will be with our hero's side when he returns back time. It is a struggle that he must overcome, either by adjusting himself to a brighter future or just giving up in the middle of the journey. That is the connection we made with our lead character, and we feel empathy for our hero's struggle. When the time our main character succeeds in defeating the villain, we will feel rewarded to see our flawed hero win in the end. Time loop or return back time is never an easy plot device to execute. Even with all the arguments I pointed out, there is still an adequate amount of variables that need to be addressed, just like any other plot device. Consistency of the character's reasoning and actions, pacing issues, and avoiding repetition with each passing path is a few examples that the writer needs to consider. Nonetheless, a time loop is still one of the best ways a story can demonstrate mystery in its plot. If it is well executed, then it can become one of the best stories the medium has to offer, especially in the murder mystery genre. Think it this way, the analogy for time loop anime is best described as playing Dark Souls game. The better you are in the game, the better the reward.